8 o'clock, and all is well. If I had a bell, I could ring it. I could announce the fact that 8 has arrived. It's exactly 8. Well, it was when I decided to start, and somebody clicked the button. So folks, thank you all so much for being here on time, 8 o'clock sharp. Fair play to you. So I want to say hello and thank you to everybody who's popped in on Facebook and on YouTube and on Instagram. We've got those channels going, and I've got a friend of mine keeping an eye on those channels. So if any of you on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram want to comment or ask any questions tonight, you can simply put it in the comments and I will get to it. How will I get to it? You ask. I hear you ask. I get to it through Zoom, because I've got Zoom open in front of me, and all you privileged people on Zoom, I'm joking, you can ask me any question tonight on this subject by popping a question into the chat, and that's how we'll do it. And throughout this webinar, I will ask a few times maybe a question or ask for an example. You don't have to participate, honestly, and I won't be offended if you don't. But it'd be great if you did, because it gives me feedback. It makes me feel like I'm not alone. Like I'm not alone just looking at a camera and a thing and some images, you know. So throughout the webinar, I might ask for a couple of examples. If you could participate, it would be fab. And don't worry if you don't want to, it's okay too. It's completely fine. So I'll just say hello to anybody I can see now. I can only see people on Zoom, so I'm just going to say hello to you. Hello, Margaret, Anisu, Tracy, Lisa, Sioned, hi, Ashlen, Gemma, and Sarim. That's great. Hi, Ashlen. Now, folks, this leads me into my first opportunity for a practical exercise. Could you let me know where you are logging in from? That would be great. Like, where are you? I like to know where people are. You know, you could be just down the road from me. We're out in Fairhouse in Dublin. But I don't know, you could be anywhere. You could be in Scotland or England, or you could be in Dublin, or you could be in Cork. Where are you? That's basically the question. Where are you? That's what I want to know. If you don't mind popping that answer into the chat, that will get us a good start off on this webinar. Let's see. Okay, so now, Siona, you're expecting me to pronounce that name, and I am going to try it. Aberystwyth. Aberystwyth. Hello, Siona from Aberystwyth in Wales, and I'm 100% sure I'm wrong on that, so I apologise, but I tried. Okay, Ashton from Dublin. Hi, Ashton. Margaret from Cork, the real capital. Definitely, definitely. Now, I'm not from Dublin originally, so I'm from Kildare. I'm halfway. I don't mind. I don't mind. I'm totally fine on it, okay? Let's see. Tracy from Limerick. Hi, Tracy. Good to have you. It's down there on holidays. Where are we going to see? The Cliffs of Moher with my wife ages ago. So it's a lovely, lovely place to stay. Sarim, London. Hi, Sarim. Great to have you. Thank you so much for joining us. All the way from the UK, although digitally it's hardly any distance. Yes, thank you, Sioned, and I'm probably pronouncing your name wrong as well, but I appreciate it. Aniso, County Mayo. I know how to pronounce Mayo. County Mayo. Ballyhonus. Lovely. I love saying that name. Ballyhonus. Great name. Powerful name. And Nia from Dublin. Excellent, Nia. I've been living in Dublin now since long time. I moved up from Kildare because I used to live in the countryside. I started working on farms when I was a young fella, then went to college in Carlow, then came to Dublin, and I've been here ever since. I love Dublin. It's a lot of action. And hello to everybody who else has joined that I didn't say hello to before. Nia, Heather and Holly, absolutely great to see you. And for anybody who's joined and you want to pop in where you're logging in from, that would be great because it gives me an idea of where you are. Okay, anyway, let's do the chit chat. Vincent, get on with it. Okay, so motivation is what we're on about tonight. So we'll actually have a look at this. Motivation. Okay? You can break this word down into two words. Motive. He's got a motive for the crime. A motive means a reason for doing something. Okay? And ation means the making of. Motivation. The making of a motive. The making of a reason for doing something. In order for you to do anything in life, you have to have a reason, and it has to be something that, I think I could go for that. That's motivating me. I have a motive. I have something I want to go for. Now, I'm not going to come on this webinar and say that I have always, at every moment in my life, been totally motivated. I'll give you an example. I have had a period in my life when I wasn't doing very well in my job, and I just wasn't succeeding. I wasn't producing the results that I wanted to produce, and it did affect me. I got very demotivated in it, started to doubt my own abilities, started to doubt, do I really even want it? What am I even doing? Should I even bother? What's the point? And I got myself very busy doing other things, but not what I should have been doing, because I just couldn't be bothered. So I've personally been through periods of my life where I've just been completely demotivated, just like couldn't be bothered. I can't face it and can't be bothered. Now I'm going to tell you what I did to handle that and go over a couple of the basics tonight. But what I want to ask you, because I want to get a picture of what information to give you, as I have a whole couple of pages of info that I wanted to touch on here, but I want to find out from you, where does lack of motivation affect you in life, so that I can gear the webinar so that it's helping you personally. I don't want to be just telling you data that I think is valuable. I want to find out from you. So here is your second practical exercise. You didn't think you were going to be this busy tonight now, did you? Second practical exercise is this. Please write in the chat, what is your main problem when it comes to motivation? Right. As in, does it affect you in your job? Are you demotivated in your relationship? Are you demotivated physically, as in you just couldn't be bothered going for that jog or eating properly? Are you demotivated in terms of business or your goals? What is your problem in regards to motivation? That's really what I want to know. If you don't mind popping that into the chat, I want to make a quick summary of them so that I can relate to them throughout the webinar, and I don't leave you empty-handed at the end of this, because you're giving me your time, which I appreciate tonight, and we're going to go over what is relevant to you. So take a moment to just write down into the chat, what is your main problem with motivation? Please, if you don't mind. Okay, Heather. Thank you, Heather. Burnout. Yes, understood. Yeah, working hard, doing so much, and then bang, it all comes on top of you. I understand that, Margaret. Sorry, Heather. Fitness, okay? Affects my fitness from achieving. Okay, so fitness and goals. Okay, so you want to stay fit, but you just couldn't be bothered going to the gym. I know how that feels. I signed up for a gym membership, and it lasted a while, and then I went, I don't care anymore. I've been through that. Okay, so, and for achieving your goals as well, Sarim, yes, trying to keep your eye on the goal. I love that. Thank you. Margaret, general lack of get up and go. Thank you, Margaret. Okay, thank you so much. Sioned, feel totally demotivated about everything, such as looking after myself, housework, cooking. Okay, so this is general, and self and home. Okay, we'll just put that down. Thank you so much. Not as engaged on tasks. This is Tracy. Thank you, Tracy. Tasks and burnout. Okay, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Anisu, working full-time leaves me too tired for anything. Be it my... Yes, I understand. Okay. Yes. Okay, brilliant. So exhaustion. I think Anisu will summarize that as basically you're exhausted. At the end of your night, you come home, you're just ready to just flake out and you don't have time for anything else. I understand that. I guess that would describe it. Let me know if it does. Exhaustion. Nia, in general, for example, get out of the house to do something. Okay, so general, kind of similar to what I think... who set up something? Who said get up and go? Yeah, Margaret, get up and go. Okay, Nia. General, get up and go. Thank you. Yes, thank you so much. And somebody messaged me on Facebook. You're from Kildare. Up, Kildare. Okay? We have to win the football at some point going forward. I want to win the football. The All-Ireland Championship. Okay, Anisu, thank you. Exhaustion. Right, let us cover this, right? Now, couple of the... What I'm going to go over tonight, right, is this. I'm going to go over a couple of basics only to remind you. These things that you are familiar with already, but I want you to note them down. And by the way, I forgot to mention this at the beginning. If you have a pen and a piece of paper handy, that would be great. Because in the second part of this webinar, we're going to do a little exercise. And I'm going to ask you to write down a few things. So, let's take a break. Don't leave the webinar, but just take a break to grab a pen and a piece of paper. Would you do that? Go grab a pen and a piece of paper. We'll give you like 30 seconds, if you don't have one already. A pen and a piece of paper, or a pencil and the back of an envelope, or a marker and your husband's back. I'm joking. It's fine. Okie dokie. Could you give me like a thumbs up or a smiley face or something to let me know you have like a pen or a pencil? Or, you know, you can type it as well. Thank you, Sioned, Nia, Margaret, thank you. Everybody else, gone looking for a pen, not motivated enough to get a pen. Anisu, all set. Heather, you got a pencil? Good, a pencil's good. Everybody else? You see, I'm getting you motivated already. Isn't that great? Okay, Ashlyn, fantastic. Okay, folks, we've got almost everybody there. Brilliant. Now, I'm going to go over a couple of basics just to remind you. And then the second half, we're going to do a little exercise. And what I'm going to go over with you tonight is a small piece of information from this book, A New Slant on Life. And this is the author, L. Ron Hubbard. I'm going to promote this book to you at the end. Sneak. What do you call that? When you tell somebody what's going to come up in a movie. What's that word? Spoiler. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. I'm going to promote this book at the end, A New Slant on Life, and this booklet, Solutions for a Dangerous Environment, because the material that I'm going to give you is based on this, and this is going to give you some more data at the end. Spoiler alert. Okay, so let's get rolling. Now, the first thing we'll have a look at, and this is something that I'm not going to get into too much on this webinar tonight, but it has to do with your past incidents where you had failure, okay, or you made a mistake, okay, and these past upsets and failures and mistakes that you've had can get stuck to you, Okay? So then when you try something new, or you try to motivate yourself again, these things can get triggered and they can affect you mentally. Now I have a whole webinar only based on this, so I'm not going to go over it tonight particularly, but I just want to mention that it is an important aspect of motivation, which means addressing past failures and mistakes. Because, for example, if you were in a relationship and you made a complete mess of it, yes, put up my hand, I definitely did. You made a complete mess of it. When you start to get into a new relationship, the worry of, okay, what if I make the same mistake again? Oh, I can't face making the same mistake again, so I just don't want to look there. It's too painful. Let's take another example. Let's say you opened your own business, but you failed. You lost 50,000 euros. And now there's a new opportunity for you, but it's too painful to look at it again, so you don't do it. Because we don't like pain. We don't particularly like pain. Anyway, I just wanted to mention this because it's an aspect. But I'm not going to be going over it with you tonight, but there will be other webinars where I'll go over this in more detail, okay? Anyway, it's a factor. So, let's go over the absolute minimum basics that you need to have in every single day. If you don't have these in, and this is really basic stuff, guys, really basic, and I can only tell you what it is as a suggestion, but then you're going to have to implement it. You're going to have to discipline yourself. But when you do start disciplining yourself, you're going to be more able to get these things in, right? Number one, and you're going to tell me, Vincent, this is so stupidly simple. I didn't come here to learn about this. I could have told you that myself. I'm not going to spend long on this, but I want to mention them. Okay? Regular, nutritious meals. Okay? Regular, nutritious meals. I don't care what diet you're on or you're not on. It's not what the point is. You need proper food in your body regularly. Not a dose of Mars bars or Snickers in the evening when you come home. Like a proper food, proper breakfast, proper lunch, proper dinner. Now sometimes people don't eat dinner, sometimes people don't eat breakfast. I don't care, whatever you want to organize yourself, but as long as you're getting regular, nutritious meals. And I'm talking about proper food, actual food, not a dose of pizzas, not, burger and chips every day. Well, actually, burgers are pretty good for you, I think, but chips, I don't know. Just regular, nutritious meals. You decide what that is for yourself, okay? Next one is number 2, good 8 hours of sleep. Okay? I know that seems obvious, and you might say, Vincent, sure, I can't get 8 hours sleep. I can't sleep at all. I only get 4 hours. Now, some people are fine on 7.5 hours. Some people are fine on 7 hours. But once it starts to go below 7 hours, I start to become a little bit doubtful. Like, for example, if somebody comes into me for a session, I'm a counsellor myself. If somebody comes into me for a session, these are the first things I'll check. Sleep. How many hours of sleep did you have? Oh, I had 3. Goodbye. See you tomorrow. 2. Food. Have you eaten proper food? I had a Mars bar before I came in. Go eat. I'm sorry. We're not going into session. I'm sorry. You absolutely have to have those basics in. Next one. Number 3 is exercise daily. Now, look, that can be something small. Look, I'm not telling you go to the gym or, do 15 laps around the block or, do a full training workout. Of course you can, but just, it could be a small thing. Just going for a walk, getting out for some fresh air, doing some jumping jacks. I don't know, anything. A few press-ups, a few weights if you have weights at home. Something to get a bit of exercise daily just to keep the body into speed. So these are all body things, okay? This has to do with this big lump of meat that you're hanging around. I'm going to attempt to draw a body. Okay, that is a body, all right? to label it so that you understand. Right? We're all lugging around a body. It's got its needs. And if you don't take care of your body, it is going to start pulling in all sorts of pictures, mental stuff, and you'll be wondering, what's wrong with me mentally? Nothing. In that instance, it's these basics have to be put in. All right? So if you're trying to motivate yourself without these basics in, it's going to be tough. Okay? Next one. Yes. Thank you. Some appreciation for my art. Thank you, Sionid. Yes, you can all take a picture of it if you like. It's fine. My art. Okay. Now, the last one you're probably not going to like. Maybe you will. Limit TV and social media. Okay? I am not telling you limit. I'm not telling you not to watch TV. I'm not telling you not to go through Facebook or Instagram or whatever those other things are. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. I'm not telling you to not do these things. But what I am telling you is that they can be very addictive. And once you start getting into it, you start watching one YouTube video that leads to another. 4 hours later, you're still there looking at your phone, scrolling about nonsense. There's just nonsense, and you've just wasted 4 hours of your life. And then you think, oh, I should have done this and I should have done that. So you need to discipline yourself on this. But once you start it, you're going to find it easier to do so. And as I said, I'm not saying don't enjoy TV or social media. I do. I like going through Facebook, see what my friends are doing, what they've posted. I like watching a movie or two on TV. But it's very important just to limit it. Even if you can sort of knock it off as much as possible during the week. And only do it at the weekend. How about that? Imagine how much work you would get done. Imagine how your life would change if you only watched a bit of TV at the weekend. Or if you only limited yourself to a half an hour on social media a day. Anyway, look, it's just a suggestion. I know it's a difficult one. You're probably saying, Vincent, I thought this webinar was going to be about something else. I think I'll sign off. Okay, anyway, just a couple of basics. It's important. The more these things are out, the more pictures get pulled in from your past. And the same with TV. If you're looking at pictures all the time, pictures, 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 again, it will trigger pictures from your past as well. So you have to kind of watch out for that. Okie dokie. Very good. Nia, it's difficult to get it started. The first step is impossible sometimes. Yeah, don't worry. We're going to cover that, Nia. We're going to cover it with your pencil and your paper later on. Basics. Get those in as best you can. Okay? Now, can I just ask, everybody okay with what we have so far? I mean, it's pretty common sense. Would you give me a thumbs up just to let me know you didn't leave the webinar and I didn't turn you away? Okay, I've got 2 thumbs up. Still here, Heather. Lovely. Haven't lost you yet. Nobody's gone to watch the football. Sienna, Margaret, I see you there. I don't know if everybody else is still there. Ashlyn is there. Okay, good. And then assume, Ania, great. Anisu, you're here. Okay, thank you. You see how important it is for me to get feedback? I need to know you're there. Okay? Fantastic. Okay, folks, so let's roll on. Okay, so that's a very simple basic. A couple of basics. And the next thing. Heather, your cat has joined. Say hello to your cat. I love cats. I've got 2 cats at home. Love my cats. Okay. Your cat has joined. Your cat has joined the webinar. Because you sometimes you get these flashy up things saying, Joe has joined the webinar. Okay. My cat, Garfield, has joined the webinar. Okay. So next thing is about goals. Okay. I'm going to touch on just one little thing here. When you have a goal in life, you usually have to find out how to reach that goal. Okay? So if you have a goal to be a mechanic, you want to fix cars, you're going to have to learn about how to fix cars. If you have a goal to, let's say, be a millionaire, you're going to have to learn or study, this nasty word, ooh, I'm going to have to write this on the board. You're going to have to study about how to make money. You're going to have to study. And this is a point that a lot of people fall down on. They start studying a subject and then they drop it. For example, Avril, hello Avril, just joined. Thanks for joining, Avril. Good to see you. I started studying, I got a guitar years ago, right? And I decided, you know what, Vincent, you're going to be a great guitar player. So what you need to do is start studying the theory of guitars, okay? Now, I got a book. I started studying about the theory of guitars and the theory of music. I think I lasted one weekend and then I just went, okay, whatever. What was my problem there? My problem was study. I just found it too hard to study. And this is one of the biggest problems when it comes to achieving your goals, is the study that it takes to get there. Okay? Now, in the very first introduction of this book, it gives you a very important piece of information to apply on study, which is the most important in my opinion, and it has to do with words. Okay? When you are studying any subject, don't pass by words that you don't fully understand, because what's going to happen is you're going to lose interest, you're going to start yawning, you're going to be tired. And you've seen this if you have kids. Your kids start studying, they don't like it, they lose interest, and it's happened to yourself in school as well. Let me just ask you here, have you ever had a subject that you've taken up and dropped? And pop it into the chat. Have you ever been motivated by a subject that you started to study and then you dropped it? You just like, it's not for me, it's too difficult. Has anybody ever had that? And if so, would you pop it into the chat? I'll repeat the question. What subject did you start to study but then you dropped it? Cooking, music, photography, art, graphic design, computers, any of those? Yes. Sioned started studying sociology. Now, let's do an experiment, Sioned. Sociology, right? The word, the actual name of the subject, sociology, is not understood by a lot of people. So I want you to do right now is have a look on Google and pop the definition for sociology in here. That means we all won't fall asleep on the webinar. So pop your definition for sociology in the actual chat, okay? Because it's a lot of subjects, they run into a barrier at the very beginning because the word is not understood. The name of the subject is not even understood. So would you do that for me, please, Sioned? Nia, language, yes. Saren, Spanish, excellent. Anisu, interior design, okay. Ashlyn, guitar as well. Thank you, Ashlyn. Yes, we've both been there. We could have formed a band. We could have been famous, Ashlyn. Me and you, we could have been famous. We could have been touring the world. If it wasn't for that damn book. Nia, Spanish as well. Okay. Now, oh, you're a star. Sociology, the study of the development, structure, and functioning or working of human society. Brilliant. Socio means a companion, and ology means study of. The study of companionship or working together. That's what sociology means. Socio means companion, and ology means the study of working in a society. So very good. Thank you, Sioned. Okay. If all those subjects that we went over here, right? If you were to go back and revisit those subjects and make sure to clear up all your words as you're going along, make sentences with them, look up where the word came from, you would find that you would regain motivation in that subject. Okay? So thank you very much for your examples, and maybe I've inspired you to go back and challenge those subjects again. But there is more about that in the first little section of this book about how to study properly. Okay? Let's move on to the next thing. And we're flying through here now. Let me just see, make sure I'm not running out of time. Okay, I'm going to spend this one quickly. Okay, let me just touch on what we've got here. Burnout, goals, exhausted. Yeah, okay, fine. So I'm going to touch on the goals first, then I'm going to hit the burnout, okay? So, goals. Okay, so there's you, and you've got this goal, okay? You're on your way towards being a millionaire, or getting married, or finding the love of your life, or having kids, or opening your own business, or getting a promotion in your job, or getting fit, you know? 1, 2, 3, you know, okay, fine, that was my workout. I'm now covered for the exercise for today. The problem is, when you start achieving your goals, you will run into people who will want to put you down in life. I'm sorry to tell you that. There's a percentage of people who, when they see you doing well, or when they see you doing better, will try to squash you directly or indirectly. It could be a friend, a family member, a colleague, and so forth. Now, I'm not saying that everybody who disagrees with you is your enemy. I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is that there's a certain percentage, we'll say, I don't know, maybe 20% of people who I have found that when you go out and you start helping people, I've been doing this for over 30 years now, when you start to communicate, when you start to go, right, that's it now, I'm done, I'm going to achieve my goals, you're going to run into somebody who's going to tell you you're silly for even thinking about that, and you should stay at home and do nothing. Or criticize you continuously. Or tell you that there's other people better than you, or it's too hard a task, or you'll never make it, or you're not intelligent enough, you're too old, you're too big, you're too small, you're too young, or whatever it is. So you're going to have people who will try to put you down in life. And if you don't spot it, because it can be very subtle, for example, somebody telling you, oh, you know what, I know you want to open your own business, but it would break my heart to see you moving away from the family home. You know, your mother and father would be so upset, and your brothers and sisters too. I know you're only opening up the business in town, but, you know, nobody wants organic food anyway, and it's poisonous. You know, whatever way to try and manipulate you into changing your mind, because that's all that they can do. The only power that somebody has to put you down is their ability to trigger off some of your past stuff and get you to decide that you're not going to make it. If you don't spot these people, what's going to happen is this. You're going to have periods where you're doing really well, you're motivated, okay? You're motivated. Yay! And then you hit this person, and then you're, oh God, I couldn't be bothered. And then the person moves away, and you're like, yay, I think I can achieve goals again. Down you go again. So what happens is, your life becomes a roller coaster. Okay? Like we see in amusement venues. Now, I'm not asking you to be paranoid about other people. I'm just telling you that even though I would love it for everybody to be friendly and nice and respectful of your dreams and goals, your constructive dreams and goals, the unfortunate thing is, it's not the case. There are people out there who, when they see you getting better, love to attack and love to criticize and will love to put you down. And if you don't spot it and handle it properly, the result is you will roller coaster in your motivation. So the first thing that you need to learn is how to spot these people. And all I want you to do as part of this webinar is to just be aware of it. So if you've got somebody who's criticizing you regularly, slyly telling you as a friend that you're no good, joking with you about your goals, oh, you'll never achieve that, who do you think you are? Or somebody who's directly and viciously attacking you continuously on social media. These things can have a very big effect on an individual. So all I want you to do is just be aware of it and spot it. There's a chapter in this book called The Antisocial Personality, and it shows you the 12 characteristics by which you can determine whether someone's an antisocial personality or a social personality. And you need to know that data to decide who you're going to have on your team and who to, let's say, watch out for. Okay? I only wanted to mention that as well. Just be aware of people who put you down, because it can be massively affecting your motivation in your life. Keep an eye on it. You deserve to be treated with politeness, manners, and respect. You deserve to be treated like that. And if somebody doesn't treat you like that, the normal handling is a conversation. Would you mind not telling me I'm an idiot every day, please, if you don't mind? And if they're a good person and a social personality, they'll change. And if they're not, they'll just do the same thing all over again. Just keep drilling it into you. So just please watch out for it. Okay, so that's all I'm going to go over on this point here. And now we'll get to the main body of it. Before I do that, I want to address this issue of burnout. Okay? And all I'm going to do, I'm going to touch on one little thing here, and then at the in the next bit we'll cover it mainly and how you're going to approach it. Okay? When you are working all day with people or in front of a computer, okay, what happens is, so there's a guy and he's working in front of a computer all day and his attention is there. Or he's working with people, he's talking to people, he's a salesman, and they're always a certain distance away. So when he or she comes home at night, their attention only goes to there. And what do? Sit down in front of a TV, which is also the same distance. What it does is it triggers off past tirednesses and you get more exhausted. So the solution to burnout is not hitting the television at night time or going onto social media. And I know that you feel it's therapeutic. And look, I like watching a film too. When I'm physically tired, I like to watch a movie. It's nice and it's helpful. But mainly when we're talking about exhaustion and burnout, the solution to this situation is explained. Is it in this book here? Let me just check. Yes, it is. Is it in this one? Yeah, there's a version of it in this booklet here, which I'm going to show you at the end. A version of it. Okay. The solution to this is when you come home at night after a burnt out, exhausted kind of day, what you need to do is get your food, okay, but you need to go for a walk around the block, okay, and continue to do that while looking at things, okay, looking at things as you're going, looking at objects, buildings, trees, the pavement, a fence, I don't know, the car, whatever it is. Look at things as you go now. And the purpose of that is to take your attention from here and have it outwards. The result is your attention is going to be out and you're going to be brighter. So I want you to try that the next time you feel exhausted, is take a walk, but not just take a walk in the traditional sense. Take a walk and look at things and go around the block. And if it hasn't refreshed you on the first run, go and do another run. Okay? And you'll get to a point where you feel really tired. In that particular situation, keep going, it'll blow off. Alright? So on a daily basis, if you're feeling exhausted and burnt out at the end of your day, get your food in the evening, but go and take a walk around the block, looking at things. Or if you're in a busy place and you're dealing with people all day, look at people, people that are walking past. All right? Okay, so now, next thing I want to go over with you, and this is when I want you to get your pen and your piece of paper out, or your pencil and your pencil case. So get that out now, please. Get it ready. Excellent. Okay, now, so this is a little bit of a tip from this book here. And I'm going to read out to you a little section. Okay, you have been on this webinar because you know there are things that you want to get done. Otherwise, you wouldn't have shown up. There are things that you want to achieve. There are things that you want to do for your family, for yourself, health-wise. What else do we have? In terms of your tasks, in terms of whatever it is, business or your job, you have goals. And you came to this webinar because you know if you're going to achieve your goals, you need to be motivated to actually get up and do it. Now, shouting at somebody and tell them, get up off your behind and get out there and do this, look, it's hard. Or being shouted at by somebody. Go on, you know you can do it. Come on, hurry up. You know, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. And you're like, oh, come on, I couldn't be bothered. Is this too much? The main problem is that there's just so much stuff to handle. Okay, you got so much on your plate. And by the way, if you let me know, does anybody ever feel that you've got so much on your plate, you just don't know where to start, and honestly, you couldn't be bothered half the time? If anybody's ever had that, will you pop it into the chat? So much on your plate. Okay? So many demands. The wife wants you to take her out. The kids want you to bring them to the park. You've got homework to do. You want to start a business. You've got finances to take care of. You've taxes to pay. You've all sorts of stuff. And you get to a point where it's like, it's too much. It is just too much. So if you've got somebody coming along to you and saying, hey, give me a yes there. Siona, Margaret, Heather, graduate school, okay. If you've got somebody coming up to you and saying, oh, come on, you can do it. Come on, just go for it. I believe in you. I believe in you. You're going to listen to that and go, what's the point? I don't want to be listening to you as well. I've just got all this stuff to handle and I'm barely able to work and get home and vegetate in front of the television for a night. That's about as much as I can do. Don't ask me to go to the gym or start a business because I just don't have the energy, I don't have the time, and I just don't have the willingness anymore. So, here is a beautiful piece of data, and it's from this chapter called Confront. The biggest problem that people have when it comes to what you have to face in life is the ability to face it. Okay? To face it or to confront it. Main reason why you don't do it is because you just can't face it. I can't even look at it. I can't confront it. Why? Because it's too much. It's too much to confront. So let's break this down. Okay. So let's say we've got all this stuff to handle and the person is completely overwhelmed. Yes, Nia, sometimes I choose to ignore things that needs to be done. Yeah. Whatever. Exactly, Nia. Listen, he can't be bothered anymore, just striving to get by every day. Yeah, okay, go to bed tonight, 12 o'clock, I'll get up at 8 o'clock in the morning, I'll go to work, I'll finish at 4:30 or 5 o'clock, I'll get home, I'll have food, and that's about my life now for the next 30 years. Procrastination, yeah, exactly. But these are all symptoms of the same thing, Nia. Ignoring this, ignoring that, leave it until tomorrow. There's just so much to handle. And a person isn't facing it. Why? Because they can't face it. So here is the trick. Bit of theory, bear with me. Pretend I'm on a pedestal in the middle of a town square or something, right? Finding something that the person can confront handling is essential to get his or her agreement to handle it. Giving a person something he or she can confront and actually get done starts to give him the idea that the situation can be handled. People often don't know how to get any further along in life. They know they cannot make any improvement in life, that it is impossible to be any better at all. But using this datum, piece of information, one could easily demonstrate even to a whole group that it is possible to get better. It will be done in the following manner. Take out your pen and your piece of paper. And here we go. Here is the first thing I want you to do. Write down, and we're going to take like a minute or two for each of these steps. Write down on a piece of paper a short list of the problems you have in your life. Start. Just write down 1 or 2 words, not like a whole essay for each thing, right? 1 or 2 words. Write down on a piece of paper a short list of the problems you have in your life. Okay? So I'm going to shut up, I'll let you do it. When you've it done, give me a thumbs up or a little smiley face. Write down on a piece of paper a short list of the problems you have in your life. Write down, okay, Margaret, good, thank you. Write down on a piece of paper a short list of the problems you have in your life. I know it's not easy, I'm literally giving you 2 minutes to analyze your whole life. I know it's a bit of a, yeah, it's not easy to do this, but anyway, just you can do it again afterwards, what I'm going to show you. I'm going to actually write these down. And just let me know when you're done. Okay, short list of problems. Okay, Heather, that's perfect. Sioned, thank you. Okay, we'll just give everybody else another, not to push us along, but another 30 seconds. Nia, thank you. That's perfect. Anisu, thank you. Give it another 15 seconds. If you haven't finished it off, don't worry, we'll just take it as we have it, as best we can. I'm not expecting you to examine every single thing in life. It's a very quick exercise. Okay. Avril, you've done it as well. Fantastic. Okay, next step. Okay, next step. So you've got your list of problems. Which of those is the easiest for you to confront? Now write that down. Which one of those is the easiest for you to confront? Write that down. Let me know when you've done it. Write down which is the easiest for you to confront. Let me know when you're done. Okay, Heather, Anisu. Very good. To Margaret, thank you. Which of one of those is the easiest for you to confront? Ashlyn, thank you. Avril, thank you very much. Okay, perfect. Good. All right, next step. All right, I might have been skipping ahead with a few people. I just want to continue on. Next step. Write down what you absolutely know for sure you could do about that last thing you wrote down. Write down what you absolutely know for sure you could do about that last thing you wrote down. Now, not something that you think, oh, maybe I could do it, perhaps, if only. No, something that you know 100% for sure you could do about that last thing. It could be a small thing, it could be a big thing. Let me know when you've done that. Write down what you absolutely know for sure you could do about that last thing you wrote down. Okay, Ashlyn, thank you. Let me know when you're done. That would be great. Okay, Sione, thank you. Smiley face to you too. Write down what you absolutely know for sure you could do about that last thing you wrote down. Okay, Lisa. Okay, Heather, thank you. Nia, thank you very much. Anybody else? Okay. Now, you see what you've written down at the bottom of that page. That last thing that you wrote down here. What you know for sure you could do about that last thing. Now, you see what you've written down at the bottom of this page. Do it. Do it. That one thing. When you do that and you carry it out and just get that thing done and only that thing, you will find that you're going to feel a little bit of a spark of motivation. Now, I have a little warning for you on this one, right? And it comes from this paragraph here. It's a beautiful little paragraph. The only difficulty one can encounter with this is that people sometimes start moving with too great a confidence, and like a baby who has just learned how to walk, go tearing across the room at a high run. Unfortunately, they usually fall on their faces on about the third step. So when you start doing this, you go, hey, do you know something? I could do this, and 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 they start taking on a huge amount of stuff. They can get overly ambitious. That has to be taken into consideration, and the person warned with, don't do any more than this right now. In other words, just do that one thing. And here's a little summary. If you make it your business, so if you're helping somebody else to get motivated, or even if you're doing it yourself, if you make it your business to, one, rapidly get an estimation of what a person thinks is wrong, then two, find out which of these points he can confront, then three, find out what he is going to do about that point that he thinks he can do, and then four, get him to do it. And at that point, you become terribly insistent on the subject of getting that point done, and you will have agreement with a capital A every time. So if you want to help somebody who's not motivated, do this. how you're going to push them. You're not going to push them to get all their whole battle plan done and their plan for the year and whatever done. Just that one point. That's all. Once that's done, the person is going to start looking at it, and maybe they'll pick something else from the list. Like, okay, now what is the easiest? What else could I do about this point? What else could I do? And just do that, do that, do that. One cycle at a time. One thing at a time. You might say, Vincent, that's very simplistic. Vincent, sure, I could have taught that myself. Vincent, sure, I knew that already. And most of us do know that we need to handle one thing at a time. Get it done, get it done, get it done. And wrap things up. It's like when you clean your house and you know you've meant to clean the bedroom for the last 6 weeks and you haven't done so, and then you clean it and you feel great. It's a little bit similar to that. But it's just those exact steps. Do it with yourself if you're feeling lack of motivation, and also do it with other people as well, and they will be helped more easily. It's much, much better than trying to overwhelm somebody with getting them to do too much, you know, because they just can't face it. So if you're suffering from burnout, it usually means just so much. So write your list of problems, write down what is the easiest to confront, and then what can you do about that? And you're going to gradually build yourself up and get rid of that burnout and become more efficient. Okay, now, folks, I'm not expecting that right now your whole life has changed just because Vincent told you to do a few things. But when you're finished with the webinar tonight, that last thing that you wrote down, do get it done. I want you to get it done. And you know what I would love? I would love it if you emailed me back to let me know that you've done it. I would love that. Vincent, at your webinar, I wrote down that I need to wash the car. Just wanted to let you know, I washed the car. Okay. And you're going to find that that's going to start building you up and building you up and building you up gradually to a point where you're motivated. Look, I don't think that motivation is like black and white, that 1 minute you're demotivated, next minute, oh yeah, I'm perfectly fine. It does need to be built up on a gradual basis, and this will 100% help you. Okay, folks, I hope that information has helped you. I want to show you something before we wrap up tonight. I told you about these books that I was going to promote. So I've put something together for you. The information that I have given you tonight is based on this book here. So I want to show you the practical book here. A New Stance on Life. Okay. Now, let me just see what this is. Okay. The 12 personality traits that make someone your friend or enemy. I know you're not on this webinar to find out about nasty people, but they do affect motivation, and often subtly. So the book contains really important information about that. The real cause of conflicts, because often people can't motivate themselves because they don't like conflict. And so there's a really good chapter in there about how to resolve conflicts. 2 rules for happy living. There's data there on how to make decisions, how to handle your marriage, how to help your kids, how to improve relationships with people. There's so much in that book, very, very easy to read, and it's very practical. Okay? Now, if you get this book tonight, if you buy this book tonight, before 10:30, okay, 30, you will get this book also for free with it. It's called The Solutions for a Dangerous Environment. And I've showed you one of the tools, and there are 8 in total. And there's pictures and different things in here. But the beauty of this particular book is that it's got a little course attached to it. So there's a free online course that goes with this book that helps you to build yourself back up again. So you basically read the book and you do the online course, which gives you practical stuff as well that you can do to show that you can actually apply the information. It's not about just reading a book and forgetting about it. It's about applying the information. So those are the 2 books. Sorry, this is the book I would recommend you get, because this contains most of the data I've gone over here tonight. And this booklet here as well contains this particular tool, and you get that free as well if you order it before 10:30. It's just to kind of give you a bit of a motivation, and the link has gone up there for it now. for anybody who's interested. Okay, so we're 9 o'clock. I've timed it amazingly well. Thank you. I want to just wrap up. And by the way, if anybody has any questions, you can throw them into the webinar if you do. But I think what I've gone over is fairly straightforward and is information that you can start applying on an immediate basis, especially this last little thing that I've given you. Okay, you can start using that straight away. Now, what I'd like to do is I'd like to, before we completely end off, open up the floor for any questions that you have. Because I know some of you, you gave me all of your different things at the beginning, like exhausted, get up and go, general exhaustion about home, fitness goals, and burnout. Okay? What I'd like you to do is have a think and see, is there any other question that you have that you feel you would like to get a little bit more information on? So if you don't mind, pop your question into the chat. So I've covered a fair few things here tonight, and I've gone on and on and on about stuff. But I want to just ask you if you have any questions about your specific situation, please take a moment to pop it into the chat. And once this brief question and answer period is over, then we will wrap up, we'll say goodnight, we can go for our walk, we can feed the dog, we can bring the kitten for a walk. Is it Heather has the cat? Somebody has the cat. I think it's Heather. Heather has the cat. Someone has a cat anyway. Any questions or comments even? Anybody have any comments? Anybody have any... Did any of this make sense to you? Is it something that you could apply? If you could let me know, that would be just fabulous. So this is where I'm looking for feedback. I'm looking for... I want you to give me... I want you to give me a webinar now. I deserve a webinar back. I want one. I want the webinar. Well, Ashlyn, it's my pleasure. I like to help, and I hope it has helped. I've been doing this now, by the way, I came across this subject in Munich in Germany in 1992, and I've been promoting this one subject ever since. So that's, how many years ago is that now? 31 years. 31 years. Okay, I don't see any questions at all coming in, so I hope that this has helped. Sioned, and I hope I know I'm not saying your name right, but I hope it is right. Thank you for me. I'm going to attempt my goal tomorrow, and she'll let you know. Brilliant, I want to know. Send me an email, Sioned. Anisu, thank you, we'll definitely try what you mentioned. Good, and please let me know what you've done and that you've done it. I want to know, okay? Margaret, I'm glad it helped. And thank you for being here. Thank you for giving me your time. Nia, thank you very much. I ordered a bike today. I hope it's a good start. Wonderful. Well, I wish you happy cycling, Nia, all around. Now I've forgotten where you are. Are you in Dublin? Yeah, well, get your helmet and your lights and all that kind of stuff. Enjoy your cycle. Enjoy it. Okay, folks, that link is going to be there for the next few minutes. I'll be gone off the screen. Thank you all so much for waiting with me until the very end. I really appreciate it. Thank you for giving me your time. Have an absolutely beautiful rest of your evening, and I hope to see you all at some point in the future, and all successful and happy. Okay? Have a beautiful one. Bye. And bye, Avril. Thank you.